Yeah, everybody, my name is Lowell, and welcome to the channel. Now, somebody sent me this link for Georgia Bulldogs 80 million football facility. Now, I thought that was a typo, 80 million. Now, I did a little research. Now, we have a rugby league in Australia. We have national teams. One of the national teams is from my town, Brisbane Broncos. They have a salary cap of 12 million for 30 players. That's for all the players. The coach of the Georgia Bulldogs gets 13 million a year. Just him. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Let's jump in and let's see what 80 million football facility. Oh, I can't even believe that. I don't even think the Brisbane Broncos are even worth half of that. The whole team. The whole, like, all their facilities and everything. Wow. All right, let's jump in and have a look at this. 80 million. Holy snap and duck crap. This is what I don't understand. This is not even a national team. This is a college team. Huh. Okay.
What's going on, world? Brand new episode of Royal Key there on your screen. I'm your host, George Kill, and I'm here at the University of Georgia with Tanner Steins. Tanner, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. Glad to be here. You know you guys have an amazing facility, right?
We're pretty proud of it.
Yeah, it's very top notch. One thing I want to discuss here today is just the layout of this facility. It's very unique compared to many other athletic programs we've kind of seen. We're in this little area of like the 360 degrees of wow, and you can see like literally everything from this area. Where are we now?
So we're in what we call the heart of our operation facility. Everything in this whole building is designed on student athlete efficiency. So how can they get most efficient from meetings to meals, from meals to locker room to weight room to training room, and then to the indoor facility. Most everything in their world lives on the first and second floor, and then everything above it is the coaches' offices, so the coaches can also get up and down to any of these spaces as efficiently as possible.
Okay, Tanner, before we actually get into the tour, you can't not mention back-to-back national champion stuff going on right here. This has to be a wow moment for any recruit, right?
So one thing we've done is we put the trophies where the student athletes are most. So we want this to be a constant reminder of what the goals are every single day. Fortunately and unfortunately, we built this case 2 years ago, and we may have to build another one. But when we bring recruits in from the side entrance or during our regular day with our student athletes and our coaches and staff are here, this is kind of the focal point of remembering about keeping the main thing, and this is the ultimate goal.
Definitely. So that's wow moment number one. Wow moment number two for me is what we're looking at here, Bones. This is not your regular like cafeteria seating where everyone is, sitting in a line.
So we figured out that most everybody gets tired of the cafeteria, but no one really ever gets tired.
So, is it just for the athletes, or can anybody from the university go and use these facilities? This is crazy. This is a college, a university. Oh my God. I can't believe it. Cannot believe it.
Tired of going to the sports bar. So the entire design and look and feel is in a sports bar type setup. It's meant to be different types of seating, communal. We cook right in front of the student athletes here. We cook breakfast and lunch in this space, and then we cater in a different dinner every night.
The cooking demo area.
What the?
We saw yesterday, that is jumping in there like all the time.
It's like the feature of Bones that really elevated the space. We didn't really know how much the student athletes were going to enjoy the demo cooking, but I think teaching them to make the meals that they've eaten throughout the week is really developing life skills for them well beyond while they're here. We don't want you to leave the University of Georgia and feel like you were treated better than you can treat yourself in future of your life. So teaching them those skills has really been a key factor for our nutrition staff.
Okay, Tanner, again.
God. I can't. It is going to take me a long time to get my small Aussie brain around this. That is crazy. We haven't even left the the eatery yet. That is
And I'm loving the fact that you can see literally everything from where we're standing. What is the thought process and how this was created?
So our head athletic trainer, Ron Corson, is an innovator in this collegiate world of sports medicine. And so one thing was really focused on was one, efficiencies, right? Every time we do it, but it was also the connectiveness of when you're in the training room. Most training rooms are built separate from the rest of their facilities. The room is set up from short-term rehab with hydrotherapy pools and all our taping tables to long-term rehab. We call the back half the hospital in our partnership with Piedmont Hospital. Piedmont's a large contributor to the athletic department, but also one of the largest healthcare systems in Georgia. There's MRI, concussion testing, sensory deprivation chamber, cryotherapy, you name it, it's in this facility. Each of our physicians has their own exam room in the space, so they don't even have to share.
I mean, I can understand it because obviously there's big money in college football. Obviously, you want your athletes as, you know, tip top as you can. It is just, oh my God. I don't even know what to say.
All in the back half of this space.
I don't even know what to say.
Concussion recovery space.
The largest weight room in the country.
So our student athletes, when they are in long-term recovery, don't ever feel disconnected from our team.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Currently, this is the largest sports medicine facility in a collegiate campus anywhere in the country. So we're really proud of this space.
Okay, Tanner, is this like the crown jewel of the facility?
We had the indoor facility had already been built. So when we built this facility, this was the focal point. Basically, all the architecture and all of the symmetry of everything comes off of this center room. The equipment room is down below us with the locker room space, training room off to the side. The coaches' offices are above us on that side, and all the support staff offices on the other. So this is really the main hub of the entire operations.
How important, especially in a 3-story building, was this to kind of stand alone and not be, because, you know, when they're pounding and hitting the ground, like, you don't want, you know, the interruption of a workflow. So how important was that?
So it's really built for that specific purpose. You know, we call the equipment room below the bunker because when you're underneath it, you see how much structure is built beneath it to support this space. But this really is its own independent building. The weight room, equipment room stack, the office training room and locker room are all in a stack together, and then the other support spaces on that side. So this operates as much vibration, sound, anything we can get into it, it kind of insulates it in this specific space. So the scoreboard that we put in, it's always challenging the norm. So why just a screen? Why don't we put an arena-sized video board inside our weight room? We can divide it up to a bunch of different things. We can put TV on it, but they put their workouts on there. They watch a pre-lift hype videos on there. It also really helps when we have recruits in here and we can show a recruiting presentation in that space as well.
And I know Coach Sinclair was very hands-on with the direction of this weight room, with, you know, the architectures. What is the significance of the flooring being, you know, in close proximity with the racks?
So the room is built to be able to lift the entire team. He doesn't lift the entire team. They still lift in groups based on skill position, or if they're in the off season, sometimes based on their class schedules and who's in that group. The way the room is set up is much like everything else we talked about, is about efficiency of their time and energy being spent going from one thing to another. So we'll set up the room with different exercises on different racks, but then in between, when they're doing supplemental lifts, if they're pushing sleds and throwing medicine balls, they just step to the center of the room on the turf portion and do that. So they will rotate almost like a circuit through the room.
Another benefit to having like a 3-story like weight room is you can start at the bottom, right?
Yes.
You guys have this, which is very unique to weight rooms. What is the significance of using that area there?
So those plyo stairs are an exact replica of our stadium stairs. So instead of having to take the team all the way down to the stadium to run stadium stairs, we can run stadium stairs in the weight room. They're built to that exact dimension, and they're softer on their knees, they're padded. If someone slips, they're not gonna hurt themselves, but it's about efficiency. Taking the whole team down just to run stadium stairs or doing box hops up the stadium for 20 minutes, you'll waste 20 minutes going down to the stadium and back. So we built this right into the space.
Okay, Tanner, first.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Thing I noticed when we walked in here, it's like all black and white, and then the numbers, which are very significant. How is this laid out?
Compared to our old team room, One thing
Oh,
about
look
this
at the
room,
seats.
there's no red in the room. So when the team comes, they bring the red. The energy of the space is brought by our student athletes when they come into this space. This is where we start every day. They do their team meeting before going to meeting groups. Interesting features of the space, it's twice the size of our previous film room. We have our national championship years and our division and conference championship years. And then this
that's what
video
the
board
numbers
we
are.
have in this space is so large that one thing we had to think about when building the room is it's divided into thirds so that student athletes that are sitting on this side of the room don't get a crick in their neck watching film to the center of the room. They can all look straight forward and watch their version of the film in this space.
Obviously, we're in the locker room.
Oh my God. I'm just gobsmacked. Absolutely gobsmacked. Our national teams don't have anything approaching this. It is ridiculous.
Right now, very spacious, comfy seats.
Oh
but
my
I noticed
God,
one
that's
thing
the
as
locker
we're walking
room?
through here, I don't see a player lounge. So is this one of the areas where the student athletes are kind of using to hang out?
They've got
So
their
the one thing we did in this facility is each locker is designed where they can lounge in their locker space. There's a locker room lounge, but then up next to Bones, we created another lounge space where the pool table and the gaming systems are. We've really broken up where they want to lounge. Instead of saying 125 guys are all going to pile into one room all the time, we've made it where depending on what they're feeling, their vibe that day, they can go to a different space.
And that's a pretty cool concept because if I'm a student athlete here, I feel like the entire facility is my home and not that one area. I get to, land anywhere and do whatever, like you said.
This whole building is your facility. Wherever you feel that you want to be that day, that's available for you.
Right behind us, you guys have like I'm gonna call it a spa back there. Talk to me about that area.
So we put a lot of detail into the wet area. There's showers, restroom space, there's a barber shop, and then we integrated our
barber
hot
shop.
and cold plunge pools straight into the locker room. So when the student athletes come off, instead of getting into your traditional garden tubs after practice for ice bath, they come straight into the locker room, get into the tubs in the shower space, and then they go straight from the tubs into the showers and then out for the day. So it really keeps a lot of that efficiencies that we've been talking about all harvest in one area.
Okay, Tanner, part of my intrigue in doing these is seeing how said program markets the people they put in the big league, right? And so how do you guys do that here?
We pride ourselves, I would say, on our ability to train our student athletes for the next level and to get them into the league. A big focus right outside our locker room and opposite of our equipment room right here is our NFL wall. Fortunately for us, our NFL wall is so extensive and is so ever changing that we fully digitized the wall. So our creative staff, if a guy swaps teams, got new highlights from last week, we can update that right on the wall.
Oh,
because
wow,
it is
okay.
the ultimate goal. And so every day coming and going for our team going in and out of the locker room is what are we getting to? What is the strive? Keeping the main thing is getting to the next level.
How important is it to stay, with the times? You just mentioned the technology. Gone are the days where we have like the team logo and then people listed down. Like, it's changed dramatically.
So I would say in my first stint, we had a traditional NFL wall, and no more than you could print it and update it was it wrong again. And not necessarily wrong, but just out of date. Someone's moved teams, something's saying we might have misspelled someone's name from 15 years ago that's on a draft list somewhere. When you've digitized it, it lives in our creative department. If we want to specifically target all the outside linebackers that we've got in the NFL right now, we can put that on the wall ahead of that recruit coming in here. So when they go by the NFL wall, they only see their position group being displayed at that time. So our football creative
that's very
staff,
smart.
we try to integrate
Very
them as
smart.
many things as we can. So even when we're building the facility, we build it with the ability that they can do the updates and keep the content fresh so that I'm not having to hire some company that's in another state for a designer that's not a dog, right? That wants to feel what we're trying to portray to our student athletes and our recruits. So our creative staff, we put them in the front of that on the front end so that when we're going to do updates and keeping things current, they're the ones that they know how it was built, they know how it was designed, and it's designed to their performance standards.
I'm from the South. So I know it gets very hot out there. How beneficial is this for your program?
In multiple ways. For the ability to in-season, off-season workouts, to have a conditioned space to come and train and run. Just inclement weather. We don't really have that big of a cold temperature problem in the South, but today it's already almost 90 degrees and it's not even lunchtime yet. And so we would do portions of practice outside, and in order to maintain the level of practice without having to worry about heat exhaustion and heat stroke, we'll transition practice inside to finish it up so that we can get the most amount of performance time out of our student athletes. So it's been integral to us. It's great. We use it for multiple other things too. We host special events in here. Our track team trains in here. Baseball, softball come and train in here. Soccer in the off season. So all our other sports also take advantage of it when they have inclement weather spaces too.
So we were working with a very tight footprint, which is often the case here at UGA because we don't have a ton of land to work with. So anytime we're doing a construction project, whether it's at the stadium or here, we have to be really efficient with the space. And then going 3 levels was important. Now that obviously provides a challenge when you go 3 levels and movement between those spaces. When we were throwing out what we all wanted to accomplish between the square footage we wanted, getting the meeting rooms, all the different spaces we needed. At first pass, we were thinking, how are we going to fit this in? But they really rose to the challenge. It was HOK, and they really got creative and showed us some different options. And that's what you love, too, is when you're presented with options to take to the coaches and staff. You know, anytime we're talking about any facility for student athletes, we want it to be a space where they can just be, where they can feel like it's a space to get away. And you want to have a space that's a home away from home for them. So when I think about how it impacts recruiting, I want them to think about them visualizing themselves a place that they can just be. And then that's also helping our current student athletes. I always want to improve the spaces where our athletes spend their time day in and day out. Coach Smart is very specific on wanting efficient flow, whether it be from locker room to training room, locker room to weight room, locker room to field, etc. So that's how the puzzle kind of came together, and the architects were great to work with on that. Our director of ops at the time had a thought of having this 360 view to where you stand in that one spot and you could view the team meeting room, you could view the dining area, you could view the weight room, and you could view the lounge to kind of give you that one spot where you could really take a lot of it in, and that'd be kind of the center point of the facility.
Oh my God. I see another one there for 80 million as well too. It just blows my mind. It is just crazy. Like I said, our national teams here would have nothing even approaching this at all. Like I said, the head coach of this, the Bulldogs makes more money than the whole of Brisbane Broncos. That is, I don't know how to get my head around that, how to kind of, I don't know, process that in my mind. It is, I know I keep harping on about it. It's a university, it's a college. Yeah, I've never seen anything like that. Never seen anything like that. That is ridiculous. But you can understand, obviously massive amount of money in college football, and they're obviously putting that back into the programs with, that, they're always talking about that efficiency, cutting down time, between the weight room and the field and everything else. You can understand it, but to have it on that size as well, it's just, oh my God, that is that was very interesting, but going to take a little while to process that. It's going to take a little. I need to see some more now, so I need to see what other people are doing and how they set up their facilities as well. It's just like, from the cafe to the weight room, which looks immaculate, it looks fantastic, to the film room and everything else like that. It's just like, oh my God, that is I'm kind of speechless at that. So 80 million. Whew, dang. Yeah, that's 80 million Americans, so which is what, 100 million Australian. Oh my God. That's right, because he makes 13 million American. Wow. That's even blown my mind even more. That's even more. That is crazy. That is crazy. Love the video. Thank you very much for the link. You know who you are. I need to go away and process it. I don't even know where do you even start. I need to see some more facilities for sure. So guys, let me know if you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for joining me. If you want to sponsor a video, all the information and links are in the description there, guys. Thank you very much for joining me. Stay safe, and I will definitely see you in the next reaction video. Did you enjoy that video? Why not watch another one?